everybody. It's Jeff here from Jazzwire. Welcome to Guided Listening this week. This is going to be a good one. We're going to be listening to a classic recording, a song that I love calling all the time, Joy Spring. Wonderful composition by Clifford Brown. I don't know the last time I listened to this, and that's Bad Jeff. Let's go ahead and say it. But what's really cool, and I don't know, has it been 10 years? Has it been 15 years? That's ridiculous, but there it is. I've been busy doing other stuff, I guess. It's so fun going back and hearing it with better ears than the last time. Whether that was 5 years or 15 years ago, my ears are better. I'm hearing different things. I'm valuing different things. And it's been really fun listening to this, so I'm excited to share some of this with you. Clifford Brown on the trumpet, Harold Land on tenor sax, Ritchie Powell on piano, George Morrow on bass, and of course, Max Roach on drums. So we'll kind of get into what's happening in there shortly. As many of you know, I have 3 summer workshops coming up for adult musicians, and we do let some high school, college kids in, but it's definitely an adult experience. And we're down to like 4, 5, 6 spots left open for each one. I would really love to work with you, or if you have a friend in one of these cities. We're going to be in Edmonton, Canada next week from when I'm recording this, June 20th through 22nd for the Canadian Summit. We're going to be in Minneapolis for the Twin Cities Summit. That's the, I'm going to get this wrong. I may get it wrong. The 17th. The date's down here. I got a lot going on. That's the date. There you go. That's the date. And then the Washington, D.C. Summit, 5 days long. That's July 29 through August 2nd. So yeah, please grab a spot for those. And you probably can't hear it right now, but 2 floors above, my son is home from college. He's just finished his 2nd year at North Texas, where I went to school, where my wife went to school, where my wife's father went to school as an accounting major. So Aiden is a 3rd generation North Texas guy. And it's somewhat alarming in my house right now because first of all, there's like a lot of saxophone. And every time I like walk by where he's practicing, I'm like, what the hell is that? I need to learn that. So like yesterday, I just bust in on him and like, man, what are you doing? What's that? And yeah, Dad, yeah, it's this Blue Mitchell lick. You don't know this? You don't know that? You should know that. So yeah, I'm taking lessons with my son, 2 flights up. Let's jump into this thing. This is Joy Spring. So one of the things I want to say to begin with, I never realized that Max Roach plays brushes the entire track. I'd never noticed that. Turns out I've been practicing brushes for the last month or so. I play a fair amount of drums, and so I've been having a really good time and talking to all my great drummer friends and getting, tips on brushes. And, here's Max just tearing it up on brushes. One of the other things I'll say is it's really interesting, that I'm noticing, and this is something I think about and use a lot in my teaching inside Jazzwire, is when are the soloists really in the chord changes, really choosing their melodies 100% from the chords, and that's a real bebop aesthetic. And when are they sort of playing over the chords, not playing out, but playing actually in a way more melodically. And it's very interesting how much of that melodic kind of playing is going on. In addition, because these are some of the greatest bebop players of all time. So it's fun to hear, I don't want to call it an older style, but maybe it is more coming from the swing era of just playing great sort of diatonic based melodies over top the changes, then getting inside the changes in that bebop way. So there's so much great stuff going on here. Such great comping on the piano. Man, let's jump in. Here we go from 1954, Joy Spring. This very cool intro with just the trio, no horns, right? And you know what? It's worth listening to that again because of all the rhythmic hits. But cool rhythmic hits that are in there. And now we're going to hear some of that in the bridge of this tune. There's a lot of actually intricacy from the rhythm section for a bebop tune. Lots of times bebop tunes were just the rhythm section played, the soloist just, sounded amazing over top, and that was that. This one, there's a lot of rehearsal that we can hear. They're not reading this for the first time, and a lot of cool intricacies. So listen to, we hear the piano fanfare, but and then the answers to that. And we're going to hear more of that inside this tune. Here we go. classic sound of trumpet and tenor sax. Great, thick, wonderful sound. And a complicated tune, the second A section modulates up a half step. Listen to the bridge here. Listen to the rhythm section. All right. Sorry, I'm going to be stopping a lot. There's so much great stuff here. In the bridge, the rhythm section is playing this da 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 da. They're playing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. These dotted quarters underneath 1 2 and 4 and 3, and that's a wonderful part, and it's coming from the melodic rhythm. So let's go a little bit before the bridge. And when the bridge happens, you can hear how the rhythm section is catching rhythms from the melody, but not playing them overtly. This is pretty deep. And now this was whether it was written out on a piece of paper or just orally, discussed in the studio. This is planned. This is absolutely planned. You hear how that connects to the melody? And now back to swinging. Not cymbal though, brushes. Just listening to how the rhythm section is connecting to the melody. So good, so good. Woo. And brushes. We can hear the hi-hat kind of loud. We hear the hi-hat louder than the brushes, but that's the case sometimes. And George Morrow, just the bass is so strong, so muscular, moving things along. Woo! I mean, every measure or two of this solo is something that should be learned and taken as vocabulary by any of us. Clifford. He's so slick. There's all these modulations, half-step modulations, and he's just so smoothly making them. Another one here. Motivic. Another way to say that is he practiced that. He practiced that. Cool moment. Not very bebop, it's pretty slick. Now this second A, I need to learn this. Man, that 4 measures, what a killer line. I've heard it before. I've heard Clifford and other folks play that chunk before. I need to learn that. Again, another motivic moment in the bridge when the chords are moving symmetrically, we could say. So, an idea he iterated, I think, 5 times there. So even in kind of this through-composed bebop kind of way where we really value the momentum of the line going forward, we're hearing a lot of motivic playing from Clifford. And from all the soloists. That repetition, motivic. Right? Another moment there. So those first 4 measures of the bridge is a harmony, a 2-5-1 in this key, then the harmony moves down a whole step. And so most of the soloists so far, most of the time, have used that architecture in the music and have mimicked that in their soloing. Repetition. repetition between the brushes on the snare drum and the bass drum. So Max is playing melodically too. Cool, so that quick sweeping on the snare. And again at the bridge, a very similar shape that he repeated. Now we hear Max's last four, and he's going to take a full chorus here. Here's the top of his solo. 1. Can you count 32 measures? He's very clear, so you should be able to. That would be a great goal. Second A. All that repetition, so melodic. Here's the bridge, third 8. Triplet, triplet, triplet. He's using a lot of triplet language all through here. Changed it there. Last 8. And how the snare drum's talking to the bass there. Very cool. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Cool. So instead of going to the melody, they went back to the intro. Nice touch. A little interlude, right? Listen to the drumming relative to the melody. That moment right there, he caught the melody. There, he interjected in a hole in the melody. Here's that spot. Hit the melody there. Hit that melody there. And hear it. Man, that's like state-of-the-art playing from everybody, from the bass and the drums, you know, like the foundational part of the rhythm section and how involved they were in the melody. Like that's something we would expect to hear maybe in an Art Blakey, you know, sort of a post-bop. So yeah, this is later bebop, I suppose, 1954. You know, bebop had been going on for, 10 years or so before this. But this is a cool development where the rhythm section is very much a part of the band. And in bebop, I think it's fair to say lots of times not so much. Like, yes, if it was Max Roach on a session 10 years before this, we would be hearing Max. He would be interjecting. That was his personality, his musical voice. But it wasn't so much written into those Charlie Parker songs. If you're the drummer, swing, man. If you're the bass player, walk that bass. There weren't those parts. And so I love, and I've been aware that these parts are there, but how precise, how well rehearsed. And of course, this was a band co-led by Max Roach and Clifford Brown. So not surprisingly, the rhythm section and the drums were just woven into the melody. A couple times I said, man, what melodic drumming. Maybe you're not used to hearing that phrase. Maybe it sounds like I made it up. I did not make up that idea of melodic drumming. Drums don't have tuned pitches. They don't have C sharps and F naturals. But we can play drums in a way where there is a beat, where it's a metronome, where here's the pulse, here's the count, here's the groove. We're playing funk, we're playing swing. Or we could treat it like a musical instrument. Not that that stuff isn't musical exactly, but playing drums with dynamics, with phrasing, with repetition. Grooves have repetition, but melodic repetition, right? Where the drum set is talking to itself. Right? That sort of thing. It's very different than groove kind of drumming. And I'm not talking down about groove kind of drumming. Like that's a skill, that's a thing. It's very fun. It's important. But melodic drumming. So if you want to be a jazz drummer and playing anything in like this kind of style, you'll start growing past that idea of just being a timekeeper and realizing there's this whole universe of music making on the drums as opposed to beat making on the drums. Drummers, am I going to get, I'm wondering what the comments are going to be here, but you know what I'm talking about. You absolutely know what I'm talking about. And some of my favorite drumming is groove drumming. So again, they're just different ways to do it. But if we're going to be playing this kind of music, it requires, this melodic kind of approach. Pretty slick. All right. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to be listening to this more. I've got that second A section of the second chorus of Clifford's solo that I need to steal. That's a good one. All right. Have a great week, everybody. And hope I'm going to see you at one of the summer summits coming up in 2025.